Hello everyone. In today's lab, we will review the male reproductive system and discuss the structure you will be expected to identify during the lab. You will see these structures on anatomical models, microscope slides, diagrams, uh, also dissection from your handout. Also I provide the handout. Make sure you go over those materials. Be sure to learn not only how to recognize anatomy structure, make sure you know the primary functions of each structures. So we can begin reproductive male reproductive structures. We have to go over all these materials for the next lab practical urinary system. Male reproductive structures, some of they are common in urinary system and reproductive system. So make sure you know these terminology. So external genitalis of male, we can start with that. The two main external structures are the penis and scrotum. Testicles, you cannot see that inside the scrotum there's a testicles. The main function of penis in male as both the reproductive organ and for delivering sperm, and the organ for you, like I said, that urine excretion through that urethra. Scrotum is like a sac-like structure of skin that contain the testicles inside the scrotum. So that is very important. This scrotum is outside compared to if your male reproductive organs, ovaries is inside that pelvic cavity. But here this outside, this testicle helps to regulate their temperature, which is very important for that sperm production. So we're going to look at these things in the lab. Now we can move to male reproductive system histology of penis. On the slide, histological slide, histology is what? Study of tissues. Study of tissues. So there are three erectile tissues we're going to go over. This is a cross section of the penis. There are two corpora cavernosa. See this one, corpora cavernosa. One corpora spongiosa. These both located in the dorsal side. This one, corpora spongiosum, surrounding that one surrounding the urethra. So urethra is here. So during sexual arousal, these tissues filled with the blood, producing an erection. If you notice corpora spongiosum, these cells over here, keeps the urethra open during ejaculation. This structure you can see through microscope slide. Again you can see corpora cavernosum, spongiosum, urethra, tunica outside, tunica albergina. This one is testicles. This is a histology of testes. This most important structure in testicle. These structures you can see is a tube-like structure. This is called seminiferous tubule, where spermatogenesis, when you see genesis, what? Making something. Sperm produced in this region. Sperm production occurs. Within these tubules, you will see developing sperm. If you take this one enlarging, you'd be able to see the sperms are developing cells at the different stages. So when you come to this lumen, it's already matured sperms, you would be able to see. So the same thing, testicles, seminiferous tubule, like I said here, this one. So this one, higher magnification. You can see the same thing, but it's a little bit bigger, you would be able to see. Also, you see these cells around that seminiferous tubule. See this one around, this is another one. See here, over here you will be see this one around this seminiferous tubule, that is called interstitial endocrinocytes. So this is also called Leydig cells. This is located between these tubules. This main function is produce testosterone. Testosterone produced by these cells. Sterol cells support and nourish developing cells. So during the lab, make sure identify seminiferous tubule. The lumen is this one, the space inside that is seminiferous tubule. Sterol cells and Leydig cells. See, enlarging that 400 magnification. This is one seminiferous tubule. The outer you see that is spermatogonial cells. When you come to this middle, the lumen should be mature. That's the spermatozoa. Then this is called Leydig cells. They produce testosterone. It's over here. Interstitial or Leydig cells. They produce what? Testosterone. Sperm produced by this seminiferous tubule. again you can see spermatozoa inside here. When you get a mature cells, you should be see inside. When you coming here, that closer to the basement membrane is the immature cells, the spermatogonial cells. Then it's coming here closer, this become mature. So this one spermatozoa, that's the sperm cells in the lumen. See this structure, you will be able to see the darker structure. The tail is coming down. This is another one. The bunch of them you will be able to see in a slide. So each spermatozoa sperm contain three main parts. See, you can see flagellum, that is a long tail-like structure. Then mid portion, that little darker, that head portion over here. Three portions. So the same thing, that's enlarging one sperm. This is the head portion. This is the mid portion, a lot of mitochondria because it's traveling long distance. So you need a lot of ATP. Mitochondria mainly what they do, they produce ATP is a currency for our system. So in the head containing nucleus, it should be nucleus and acrosome, which contain enzymes needed to penetrate the egg. Enzyme and nucleus is located here. The tail is very important too, or flagellum. This is the only cells in human body has a flagellum. Flagellum is mainly for locomotion. This will propel the sperm toward the egg. So it has to produce in testicles, travel through that epididymis and go through that urethra. It is a long journey for this. It's not a lot of ATP in it. Flagellum to that propel towards egg. So make sure you know the structure and functions. Now we are going to look at the spermatic cord. This is a 400x magnification. What you see in the spermatic cord? Spermatic cord connects the testes to the abdominal cavity. Abdominal pelvic cavity, you can say. It contains the ductus deferens or vas deferens, testicular arteries, those are blood vessels, arteries, palmiform plexus, nerves, lymphatic vessels, ductus deferens, it's the same thing. This ductus deferens, what they do, they transport sperm during ejaculation. While that palmiform plexus, those network of blood vessels, you see, helps to regulate testicular temperature by cooling arterial blood before it reaches the testicles. Then there is a muscles, cremaster muscles around, that is seminiferous spermatic cord. It's enlarging vas deferens muscles. It's a lumen. We're going to see the external structure. We see that these all things you see externally. You can see penis, scrotum with the testicles over here. This is epididymis, Then this scrotum is covering. Then you see that spermatic cord, we just explained histology. They have contain blood vessels, muscles, epididymis, these things. Then connected to that abdominal pelvic cavity. So you can see it's going through that region. See it's going both sides. This is a vas deferens or ductus deferens, same thing. Is a urinary bladder. It's a muscular structure. Prepuce, outside structure. This is a penis. Urethra will come through that penis. So this one is a deep lateral view, lateral section. You can see everything from the side. This is all part of the digestive system. Everything is anal, rectum, anus. So in male, there is only one opening for urinary system and reproductive system. That is the penis. This is the testicle inside the scrotum, penis. So there are two different types of cells we talk about. Outer is what? Corpus cavernosum. This inner surrounding that urethra, this is a urethra is opening. Surrounding that is corpora spongiosum. Then you see over here this white structure, that is the prostate gland. So ejaculatory duct, mixing over here. Then this is a urinary bladder, ductus deferens coming through and coming through that, mixing to that in this region over here. Also, you can see that external deep lateral view model identify testes, epididymis over this structure above the testicle. This one, seminevesicle, prostate gland. The another one is a bulbourethral gland. Should be over here in this region. You don't see it over here. You can see this one. This is a urogenital diaphragm. Urinary bladder. It's a big muscular structure. Epididymis, I already mentioned. Then urethra should be going through this. It's a vas deferens. It's coming from that testicle carrying sperm. Penis we mentioned. Glans penis, this is a structure over here. So if you look at follow the pathway of sperm are produced in testicles, mature in epididymis, this structure, produce here, mature here, travel through the ductus deferens or vas deferens, is it too, mix with the secretion from accessory gland like seminevesicles, prostate gland, mature and the ultimately expelled through that once happens through that urethra. That's the pathway. So we finish with most of the male reproductive structures. So you can see pubic symphysis, it's a cartilage structure. So spongiosum we talk about, cavernosum, gland penis, testicles, scrotum, prostate gland, this structure, membranal urethra, this portion. This is not a, it's only small. So then urethra has a different names based on where do you see the urethra. This all things called what? Urethra. But when you see the urethra closer to that prostate gland, that is called prostatic urethra. The membranous structure, that's a membranous urethra, only small portion. Then rest of them closer to that spongiosum, that is called a spongy urethra. You can see this gland over here in that membranous urogenital diaphragm, this area, this is some structure. There should be over here, this one is what? Bulbourethral glands. Prostate gland, bulbourethral gland. We see seminal vesicles, pubic symphysis, ductus deferens, this muscular structure around the urethra, what? Corpus spongiosum. This one is corpus cavernosum. We see this gland penis. We talk about scrotum, testicle, ejaculatory duct, so another model. Each model look different because how they placing the model depends on that. So this one is a spermatic cord, blood vessels, vas deferens. You will be able to see that is everything together we call a spermatic cord. So this one, spermatic cord. Cremaster muscle surrounding that spermatic cord. So this is a cremaster muscle. So you can see bulbourethral gland here also here. That's for male reproductive structure. If you have any questions, please let me know. Put comments and share with others. Thank you for watching.